Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are making a scrapbook page. So my family went to a lavender field to pick some lavenders, and so I wanted to create a scrapbooking page that showed those flowers off and those pictures off. These were actually some of the flowers that we picked, and I actually dried them. I did already cut the corners off these this picture, and then I ran these two pictures through my die cut machine with this frame. I just wanted to kind of make those edges a little pretty thing. And then I'm going to be putting the dried lavender inside of a shaker card. And this flower shaker is from the Fancy Flowers kit with Queen & Company. I love their shakers. They make them so easy because they come with the foam, they come with the acetate. And then I always would suggest to get the outlines. Purchase those as well, because as you're about to see, I struggled through this moment here, because I was like, oh, I'll just take the outline off, and then I stuttered and I stuttered and I stuttered and I went, oh yeah, I don't have the outlines for these flowers, so I have to actually put them on what I want to put it on before I fill up the shaker. With this, I am using some navy blue cardstock and some pattern cardstock from my stash. I get a lot of my cardstock from Hobby Lobby or Joann's fabric store, a lot of my 12x12. 6x6 I get a lot from like Honeybee Stamps or Simon Says Stamps or scrapbooking.com. The lavender paper that you see up in the left hand corner, that is actually a digital printable that I got from Creative Fabrica, and you will also see that watercolor lavender. I also printed that from Creative Fabrica. I literally just put into the search engine on that website lavender and picked some free ones that I liked. So here I am putting the shaker together. So I did have to put the foam onto the cardstock so that it would stay, and now I'm just gluing those pieces together. I wanted to make sure I liked how it was positioned first, and then I'm gluing the inside to put that inside die cut into it. That'll be my bottom. The outline dies just give you that full outline, so like if you look real close, you can see kind of an edge around the inside. It's not very noticeable once you put your shaker bits into it, but then it also makes it a little bit easier to make the shaker cards when you get the outline dies. Just so you have a base, a little bit easier. But I am cutting some of the lavender in full pieces, and then I'm going to get some petals off of the lavender as well. I'm going to speed this up because this was a longer process than I thought. I wanted fuller flowers throughout the whole thing, but they were a bit chunkier than I originally thought, and so I didn't want to add more foam and more dimension to this page. So I just decided to add more of the petals than the full flowers. But there is a few of the full flowers in there just to kind of give it that fun, different texture. Now, this shaker card doesn't actually shake. I'll show that to you a little bit later. It's more just to show off the dried lavender and the fact that we picked it ourselves kind of thing. When taking off the top layer of the foam paper, I do rip it kind of in half and just go along the edges very slowly, just so things don't stick. I did get a couple things that still stuck, but it's a lot easier process than trying to take the whole thing off in one, because it will like bounce, and then that's when everything goes everywhere. So then I'm going to put some of the acetate that's already been cut out. That's the other thing about the outline dies. If you get the outline dies, you can cut more acetate. The normal shaker dies, you can cut foam, but you don't get the acetate layer. So I'm currently on the email list of notify me when that's actually back in stock. I am having to use my needle poker. I'm not really sure what the tool is called, but I used it in between the acetate to push back some of the petals that had gotten stuck to the foam. You'll see me do that a couple times here. Just because it does have a bit of a staticky-ness to it, and I didn't want to put any anti-static powder on the acetate because it kind of creates a film sometimes. I use the bag, and I really need to get the brush. And then I'm going to use some liquid glue just around the edges and finish off the shaker with the top die cut. Like I said, the print for this paper did come from Creative Fabrica. I just printed it out on my printer, and then I glued the whole sheet to a piece of white cardstock, and then put it through my die machine. So I created the flower, and then I created some of those square edges. Now this lavender piece also came from Creative Fabrica. I did the same thing. I printed it out on my printer, glued it to white cardstock, and then I fussy cut it out. Now since I fussy cut it out after I glued it, you will see me, I do have to fill in some edges with some glue here and there because it was starting to come off, and that's just because when I glued it, I didn't smother the whole page with glue because then it starts to warp. I do put the liquid glue on it and then kind of smudge it with my finger just so it's not like beads of glue or lines of glue, just to kind of smooth it out. But yeah, you'll see me kind of here and there have to fix around the edges just to make sure that they're staying. And then I constantly am putting my layout back on the page just to make sure I'm gluing things where I want them to be. I have it all envisioned in my head and kind of laid it out earlier, but as you put pieces away and put it back on, you got to keep putting the layers back on to make sure it's actually where you want it. I am gluing it in a way that you'll see. This is the shaker. It doesn't really shake. I am gluing the flowers in a way that you will see. I will cut the edges off, but I just wanted it to really flow on this page. I wanted it to seem like it was growing out from the page. So some of the flowers do get cut off a little bit, but it's okay. It's still really pretty. And then I will cut off those edges. And see, there's another piece that I needed to add glue to. Just making sure that it's all staying in one piece and it doesn't start to come off. My printer isn't the best printer, and so printing on actual heavyweight paper does not always go well. So this is just an easier way for me. Plus I feel like it uses less ink, and then it's a little bit cheaper for me to use the copy paper and then just glue it to cardstock. Just cutting off those edges that are hanging over. I do put my scrapbooking sheets in a protective plastic, so it does have to fit right on the 12 by 12, so I can't have anything overlapping. And then here I'm just setting up how I want these pages to go. I wanted to have a little bit of color in between the pictures, just to help ground it and give it a little bit more interest. I did use the same frame die that I used for the pictures around that pattern purple paper, but it was longer or shorter than I needed it to be or something. I don't know. I ended up cutting it in half. You don't see the whole thing anyway. I just needed the top edge and the bottom edge. I'm just kind of lining up how I want these pictures to go. And then I'm going to use the sticky tape on the edges, line up the pictures again, and then I'll put some more of that tape. Tape? Is it tape? What's it called, guys? I don't know. People keep using HTV. That's not right. That's vinyl. Or not vinyl. That's iron-on. Anyway, sorry. Going down bunny trails over here, guys. I think I need more caffeine. I also love that at trying to show you guys this scrapbooking page, you are seeing a lot of my desk. You may think, wow, her desk is messy. You should see the whole thing because you guys are actually seeing a cleaner version of my desk right now. So I tend to try to clean it in between projects, but when I'm on a project, it's just, everywhere. So when I did put those pictures down, I did notice that the one piece of lavender flower was creeping up above her head, and it just it was bugging me. It didn't look right. You couldn't see what it was. It wasn't high enough, kind of thing. And so I am cutting that piece off. I do notice there's another little piece, so I do cut it further down a little bit off camera, because it bugs me. See, magic, it's gone. All right, so let's work on the top of this 12 by 12. Now, again, I have that navy paper just because it matches her outfit, my oldest daughter's outfit, and actually my youngest daughter. I did pretty good with matching their outfits because her little pants and her little top are the same color. That worked out. So we're just going to put some of that sticky tape. I'm calling it sticky tape until I'm told otherwise, guys. Putting it on that lavender pattern paper, and then I'm going to stick the lavender paper onto the blue. Now, I do notice before I actually stick it down that I do need a third corner cut, because that, I only did 2 apparently. So I'm just going to use my little corner cutter thing that actually came with my scoring tools. It's so that if you make envelopes kind of thing, you can cut the edges. I use it for scrapbooking. Use your tools for multiple things, guys. And then I'm just going to use that sticky tape again and get this mounted onto my paper. Words today, guys. Anyway, aren't they so cute? I love these pictures. And of course, these are 3 of like 40 that I printed out. So we'll probably do a couple album pages of just pictures, like in their own individual protective sheets, which I can show you that in another video if you guys want to know what I'm talking about. But it's really hard to pick which pictures you want, and on a 12 by 12 you want to make a whole like design and layout, and then you can only fit so many pictures. So that little pieces are actually from a die cut set that I was sent to by Lauren Taylor Made. I use that in a few cards that I can mark in the description below or put up in that corner if you want to see those pictures of what that is. But the purple one just says memories, and then I'm going to write in the date. I'm not going to write in the date on camera because my handwriting is not the best. And you guys don't need to, notice that. And then the little green says this day, and then the extra little piece said could it be more perfect, which I like thinking that it was a very good day. It was a fun little outing. It was very hot. Like, it was so hot. And my husband is a saint for putting up with me and wanting, at least going along with me wanting to, let's go to this random lavender field that's letting us pick the lavender, and then we drink some lavender lemonade, and and we dried our lavender, and anyway, which that was the other thing. While I was making the shaker card, it smelled so good in my in my office because maneuvering those petals and everything just brought the lavender back to life. So it smells so good in my crafting room, guys. I am just putting some embellishments, some final embellishments on the page. I just needed some fill of those empty spaces. I can handle some negative space, but not a ton of negative space. I'm trying to embrace negative space. I don't like it. So I have to put embellishments everywhere. I'm just lining up a couple different lines from small to big on that right hand side. I'm going to do the same thing underneath that top photo, and then I'm going to do another set next to the right hand photo. I am just picking them off with that needle tool, As you can see, I do have to glue a few of them because they have adhesive on them, but sometimes they come apart from their adhesive and then I have to glue it. If they don't come apart, I just let the adhesive do its thing. It is pretty strong, and I haven't had any issues with them falling off after the fact. It's just getting them off that acetate paper. For some reason, it doesn't always go well. So I just have to add a little speck of glue and make sure that it stays. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I wanted to show that I do scrapbook, and I'm probably going to do some more videos like this in the future. Card making is probably my go-to, but I do love to scrapbook. And when I was in high school, I scrapbooked like every single year. I have like a full album of each year, and I kind of want to get back into that now that I've been getting into card making and have the supplies again. And I keep looking at my daughter's baby book. My one daughter is almost 3 and I have yet to start it. So you're probably going to be seeing some of those pages soon. I'll put I think the date was sometime in July under that memories, and this page will be finished. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you want to see, and I will check you out next time. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see some more. Have a great day, guys. Thanks.